What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Prism and your sensualite movement. Today, we are going to talk all about self-pleasure versus masturbation. So stay with us. Well, guys, I feel like I need some chocolate for this conversation, and I don't know why, but I'm definitely having some after this call. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is this concept of self-pleasure and masturbation. This is a question I get all the time. What the heck is the difference? And it is not uncommon for my Instagram account to have DM after DM after DM of individuals saying, hey, I self-pleasured with a toy or to your pictures or to porn or whatever. And it really brought up to me this awareness of not really knowing what self-pleasure means. We assume that this is just this like safe, kind of sexy, sensual, probably spiritual way of talking about masturbation. And I can tell you, yes and no. It is and it isn't. So let's understand the difference a little bit better. When we think about masturbation, and I'm going to be the first one to say that masturbation has its place in life. It is an amazing, amazing tool to connect with your body, to learn what you do and don't like, and especially to release energy. Now, the way that most people are using masturbation today, in my experience, through my experience with my one-on-one clients, my group clients, and everybody that hits me up in the DMs, and these comments below, has been that masturbation is quite frequently used as a method of escapism. Now, what do I mean by that? And before we get triggered, let me explain it. And if that is triggering you, I invite you to check in with your body. Feel into it. Why does me saying masturbation is equated to escapism? Why is that stressing in the body? Why is that challenging for you? What is it about that phrase that is hard to hear? Where do you feel that contraction in your body? Now, if you're not triggered at all and you're all for this, okay. So for those of us that are with us, we're gonna keep going. Why is masturbation like escapism? Let's think about what we're doing when we masturbate. Not every time, but often there's some type of frantic energy in the body, and it's a little bit anxious often. Now, this frantic energy can feel like arousal. It can feel like pressure. It can feel like aliveness, activation. You can use lots of different words, but generally speaking, there's this sense of energy needing to move in the body. And because we don't feel safe in that container, or that feels uncomfortable, we dive into a masturbation practice, which is very specifically focused on one goal of orgasm. And generally speaking, we're using friction, right? So rubbing, penetration, any type of movements, but generally speaking, friction to create a sense of erotic release, to create a state of orgasm. And that's great. It's a great release. Often you can tell based on how long are you spending masturbating. Is this like a 5 to 10 minute thing? Let's get the most powerful toy I own, or the most potent porn I own, or the best mental images, and really just like knock one out? Or are we listening to our body? Are we checking in? Are we allowing her to guide the way? And so really, this is what I see as a big difference. If we're going to talk about masturbation versus self-pleasure, is masturbation is this sense of like, I need to release something, but we're doing it from a very heady space. And it's a very quick, very friction-oriented, very goal-oriented, I will receive an orgasm and then I will feel better and I'll get on with my day type energy. Can you feel how that's very, almost a controlling and a very escapism, especially if we're leaning into connecting with the head and visuals in the head, or if we're connecting with porn or any type of erotic literacy or erotic imagery, anything that's processed through the mind, that is masturbation. Because we're staying up here. We're escaping what we're feeling in the body, which is why we often need to use friction, which is why we often need to use a very powerful vibrator to be able to feel those sensations, to create energetic release, to create orgasm, because we're not actually connecting with the body, we're connecting from up here. And it's very much this mentality of let's get it off, let's get it done, and let's get on with our day. Okay. Let me know if you feel that, if you really feel that energetic difference. Now let's contrast that with the concept of self-pleasure. Self-pleasure is a lot more about letting your body lead the way. It's a lot more about creating a container of safety and trust with your body so that it can move emotions up and out. So it can move stuck energy up and out so that we can release things like trauma up and out. Now in self-pleasure, the only goal we have is to stay embodied for the practice and to allow everything to move as it needs to. Now, this can mean allowing crying, allowing tears, allowing sadness. This can mean that a self-pleasure practice can be you laying on your bed or me just sitting right here in this space and just holding myself, connecting deeply to my heart and my womb. And if that's what my body desires, then that is all we have to do. That is my self-pleasure practice for the day. My self-pleasure practice does not have to be naked or clothed. It does not have to be silent or loud. All we're doing, the invitation of self-pleasure, is to drop deeply into the body and allow her to guide the way, whether that is through touch, whether that is through sound, through breath, or through movement. We let the body choose. We let the body guide. And if that ends up in orgasm, great. If that ends up in bliss, great. If that ends up in an anger release, great. If that ends up in tears of frustration, great. If you release grief, great. It is all perfect in self-pleasure. We are not here to create more friction on the genitals to incite an orgasm. We are here to connect to our body. That is really the biggest difference, is that this is about connection to the body. This is about allowing the body to guide the way and trusting and allowing whatever needs to arise. Trusting that it's perfect. Trusting that it's exactly as it needs to be. And that it would never be meant to be any other way. Now, it is very common when we start on a self-pleasure journey to feel incredibly disassociated from the body and incredibly numb, especially if we've been using a lot of toys, a lot of friction-based engagements, or a lot of pornography and visual stimulus. It can feel very numb in the body and very alarming to feel that numb in the body. So if that's you, that's okay. You're not broken, you're not wrong. I promise you, everything's gonna be fine. I ask you to commit to 5 minutes a day. Just checking in before bed, or right when you first get up, or when you're in the shower, anytime that you have just like 5 minutes alone, just checking in, moving your awareness from your head into the body, deepening the breath, and just seeing what sensations are alive. Seeing if there's any tightness that wants to release. Sometimes a shoulder might be tight, or you might feel a contraction in the chest, or some pain in the ovaries, depending on cyclical times. Allowing whatever those feelings are in the body, whatever those sensations are, to be your roadmap, to just pay attention to that area. And maybe, let's say you've got a tight shoulder, you spend some time tapping, rolling, stretching, rubbing, breathing into, using voice. Sound, breath, touch, and movement is what we want to bring into this practice. So just dropping into the body, noticing what's alive, and then bringing sound, touch, breath, and movement into releasing it. That's all it takes. And I ask you to commit to 5 minutes a day and just see how your life changes with 5 minutes a day of a consistent self-pleasure practice. And it doesn't have to be at the same time every day. Life's busy. But if you can commit to no matter what, 5 minutes a day in 2 weeks, your life and the way that you handle and process emotions and the way you feel safe in your own body will be wildly different. And for those of you, I have had many clients that have really struggled with even 5 minutes. They get very caught up in their head and they have a lot of trouble dropping into the body. If this is you, please let me know. Drop it in the comments. I have a couple recorded self-pleasure meditation somatic descents that I can send to you that will help you drop into the body. It's always easier when you're listening to something versus having to just get stuck in the mind. And those are available free to everyone in the Sensual Light movement. So drop a comment below if that's you. I've got you. I'm here to support you on this journey because you, by doing this for yourself, are helping to change the world because it all starts with us. So I honor you. I honor your commitment to landing in your body, to becoming so aware of your own emotions that becomes your superpower. And it all starts with a super fun self-pleasure practice. Thank you for being here, my radiant doves. As always, if you have any questions, drop them below. And if you need any additional support, let us know. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye.